Good afternoon. Obviously, I'm deeply disappointed by the jury's decision. I have every faith that the law and the facts did not sustain that decision and that we will be successful upon appeal. I have never violated my public oath. I have never been anything but a patriot of my country and for my country. I have never, ever been a foreign agent, and the decision rendered by the jury today would put at risk every member of the United States Senate in terms of what they think a foreign agent would be. I know my attorney want to say something, and then I'll get going.
This is Michael Popok, Legal AF. We got another version of Abscam, the 1980s FBI sting operation that brought down senators and congresspeople, including in New Jersey, involving corruption and bribery happening all over again. Robert Menendez, senator, powerful one, used to be the Democratic head of the Foreign Relations Committee, already got singed back in 2017 when he had another theft of honest service and bribery case that led to a mistrial that time, not this time, not in the Eastern District of New York, where he was prosecuted again. 12 members of a federal jury have come back and convicted Menendez, a Democrat, of 16 counts related to theft of honest service and bribery arising out of him influence peddling, selling his influence in order to get a series of Egyptian business people the exclusive right to sell halal, that's sort of kosher, but for the Arab world, halal foods to the military and other U.S. installation and posts, and then interfered a number of times, so the indictment and the jury found, in the ongoing investigation. And that's Robert Menendez, who tried to blame his wife, who's going to have an indefinite delay to her prosecution and her trial because of breast cancer, tried to blame Nadine Menendez for hooking her up with friends, an Egyptian business person, but they were cooperating witnesses against Menendez. Now, you just heard him in that clip say he's honest. He's done nothing wrong in his life or his career. I mean, listen, where there's smoke, there's fire. I know he got a mistrial in a hung jury in 2017 for bribery related to a Florida ophthalmologist who gave him lavish presents and gifts and money in exchange for getting him some approvals or making some phone calls. I mean, Robert Menendez has a sweet tooth. There's no way around it. And there's a honeypot. It has to do with money. In this case, gold bars. Again, I thought I was watching, Abscam, or the movie about Abscam, where, fake Arab sheikhs, really FBI agents and informants, were trying to infiltrate the world of stolen art. And while they were at it, to try to get a casino license in New Jersey, and ensnared a series of congresspeople and a senator. I thought I was watching Abscam all over again. Doesn't Menendez know that? It should be required watching and reading when you're a New Jersey senator. Nope. But Menendez, going down now, and is, there's been calls on him, immediate calls by Chuck Schumer for him to resign, and so that there can be an immediate appointment by Governor Murphy here of my home state of New Jersey, and that's where we are now. Let's take a step back. If Donald Trump and MAGA were right, do you think that successful prosecutions of Hunter Biden, of Robert Menendez, of other people would happen? Is it just a cover story? Is it only lawfare when it goes after Republicans that are caught committing crimes? I mean, I think all you need to know about the Menendez conviction is we have a honest U.S. Attorney's Office, Department of Justice, who are professional, who follow the facts where they lead and apply the law, exercise proper prosecutorial discretion, and try cases that they think that there is a very good chance of them prevailing beyond a reasonable doubt. That's what you want in a Department of Justice. And the fact that special counsels, maybe now invalid under a ruling by Judge Cannon down in Florida, convicted Hunter Biden, the son of the president, and Senator Menendez went down not in 2017, but today in 2024. And nobody told Breon Peace, the U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of New York, to back off because Menendez is a Democrat. You think that conversation got had by by Biden's Department of Justice and his Attorney General? Back off on Menendez. He's too powerful. We can't lose that seat. Or was it full steam ahead because there's a complete independence of the Department of Justice? It's what you're watching is this is why people don't recognize it on the right. It's the complete independence of a Department of Justice. They hate that. Whether it's the special counsel appointed or just the Department of Justice being independent from the White House. They want a unitary executive branch. They want a Nixonian, Trumpian, where the president has loyalty tests for the FBI director and for the attorney general, and they sit in on cabinet meetings and they go after the political enemies of the president and they do his bidding. And there's no daylight between the president's campaign, the president's White House, the West Wing, or the attorney general's office or the director of the FBI. No daylight. That is what the MAGA right wing on the Supreme Court, Gorsuch, Alito, and Thomas, joined by Roberts, Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, want. They don't want daylight. They want a unitary executive branch without independent federal agencies. They think the bane of their existence is that there are independent agencies, especially at justice, because they want it under the puppet control and the thumb of the president, who they then control. Do you see? And what we're watching is what happens when you live in a democratic constitutional republic that's properly functioning and is not corrupted at the Department of Justice level. And special counsels come out with scathing reports against the sitting president about his handling of documents. And other special counsel go after a former president for how he handled classified documents and try to interfere with the election. And another special counsel goes after the son of a Democratic president on a 11-day gun charge in federal court, no less, and are going after him again for tax evasion as a Democrat. And a Democratic senator in New Jersey goes down, not in 2017 when Donald Trump, let's put it this way, when Menendez was first tried, it was Donald Trump's Department of Justice, and they failed. And they did not convict him. And the jury didn't. And the jury was hung. And 10 out of the 12 reported they were not going to convict Menendez. That's why he was not retried. Then he gets retried. He gets tried on a new set of theft of honest service and bribery counts. And he gets convicted by the Biden independent Department of Justice and the Eastern District of New York U.S. Attorney's Office. Explain that. It's a head scratcher unless you believe in independent judiciary and independent Department of Justice. But it's not an example, and it undermines the entire conspiracy theory that there's lawfare going on. If there was lawfare going on, let me tell you what the scorecard would read. 4 Donald Trump trials, 4 convictions. Hunter Biden not prosecuted. Bob Menendez not prosecuted. And no special counsel appointed for Joe Biden. That's what lawfare would look like. Just so you can understand the difference for those that follow this show. But instead, what do you have? 1 conviction of Donald Trump in New York State Court, not federal. And it's on life support. The other 3, 1 dismissed, 1 they're going to argue for dismissal, and 1 is never going to get off the ground in time for the election. While Menendez, Hunter Biden, and other Democrats go to jail. That's lawfare? Then that's if that was the plan of Joe Biden, it was the worst executed plan in the history of the world. The reason it's not is that's not the way you connect the dots. The way you connect the dots, the only common denominator is an independent judiciary and an independent jury system and an independent Department of Justice. That's what we need. But say goodbye to that. Give it a chef's kiss goodbye if Donald Trump gets restored to power. Because he believes, as do everyone around him and everybody in the Heritage Foundation and the Federalist Society and the 2025 Project and Agenda 47, whatever else you're going to call it, that there should be a unitary executive branch and an imperial presidency, and there should be no daylight between the presidency, the FBI, and the Department of Justice. So if that makes you happy, that's who you should vote for up and down the ballot on November 5th. But that scares the crap out of you, as does what he could do to the Supreme Court if he picks 2 more people. Because then you just put democracy's out of business, right? It's not Amazon Prime sale. It's democracy is out of business, 100% off. So we continue to follow things that undermine the working theory of MAGA, that there is lawfare in this country, with the reporting about Bob Menendez's conviction by a jury in New York. On the MeidasTouch Network on Legal AF, follow me, Michael Popok, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on audio podcast platforms of your choice, we curate the top 4 or 5 stories at the intersection of law and politics. We bring it to you right here, the only place we know how and the only way we know how, unfiltered, unvarnished, unplugged, sometimes unhinged, on the MeidasTouch Network. If you like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. Until my next hot take and my next Legal AF, this is Michael Popok reporting. Heary, heary, Legal AF Law Breakdown is now in session. Go beyond the headlines and get a deep dive into the important legal concepts you need to know and we discuss every day on Legal AF. Exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, all for the price of a couple of cups of coffee. Join us at patreon.com/legalaf. That's patreon.com/legalaf.